points for that previous panel. I'm not sure what Book is going to do back there, but other than that, I'm hoping to really kind of build myself up here with some positive points after seeing some of these drafts.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think this is one of the more even matchups we've seen in the bracket so far. Another one, I would be kind of surprised if this series goes 2-0. I feel like these two are fairly evenly matched in terms of raw skill, but it's another one of these regional matchups where you don't get to see Europe versus China, except for on LAN, and this is it! This is the LAN OGVG. It finally begins. All right,
and
boys.
And the crowd goes wild for a techies at the bottom.
Yes, indeed. What do we have available in this draft? I see a Brood Mama, always a scary one. Omni Knight up there at the top. You know, there hasn't been much Omni Knight making it into the availability.
He's always going to be banned in the first phase. I would be very surprised if he made it through.
Yep.
Probably get rid of Brood Wisp as well.
There is no Brewmaster this time for OG. And I guess for Vici as well, right? We saw them run it for LAN-M a couple times.
There's actually a lot of good heroes in this pool this time. Like Shadow Shaman's probably like one of these heroes that's super, super good, but do you actually want to ban it? Especially with heroes like Omni Knight in the pool, Wisp. You have a lot of good first picks. Broodmother's probably going to be banned no matter what as well.
There's no Shadow Fiend this time, but that Naga Siren that we talked about so much during the group stage also going to be maybe in that consideration for banning.
There's a huge amount of supports in this pool, actually. So I think some of the cores have higher value. Based on that, for example, I don't know if there's a good matchup here for Queen of Pain mid. So that might be something that comes out fairly early. Yeah, I feel like the cores are going to be a bit more telling early on in this draft.
There's a huge lack of mid heroes, actually.
It also feels like we're lacking in those more like active carries too. You're kind of down to like Monkey King or something for those earlier rotations, unless you want to play Ursa, but he hasn't been looking too hot lately. I think OG, the Naga Siren, would be a very big concern. I guess for both teams, right? They both played it, but OG I think has kind of that double threat of possibly being the support Naga or also that carry Naga from No-Tail. So
they both play it, but I feel like OG is the team that's definitely more well known for Naga Siren.
Yeah,
it's kind of their hero for a long time now.
I don't know how good the matchup is against Quap, but I think if Skywrath could be a potential mid-core, Jakiro we've also seen pop into the mid lane a couple times.
Well, the thing is, it is good, but what happens if the Queen of Pain happens to just go off lane after they see that it's a core Skywrath mage, for example?
Oh, okay.
You know, if it's one of these things that you need to make sure of.
This might also be a pretty good anti-mage game as well. I mean, again, you have a very support-heavy pool. Maybe not too many cores that directly threaten him or really allow you to push that early.
There is a Disruptor, though, one of the better supports against the anti-mage. So some kind of minor solutions.
Wondering if our Elder Titan, Bounty Hunter, or Naga, one of those three is about to make it into this pool. No matter what the last two bans are here, so.
Still a lot of good heroes left.
Yeah.
For me, the big one that stands out is the Shadow Shaman.
Definitely the safest, like, just first pick overall, too.
Yep.
Just take it as Vici, watch what happens, and then respond from there. Our Undying, that was asked from the crowd. No stunning Tombstone, but we'll see if maybe he appears.
The Bristleback is actually come for availability here, so we could see if the Pain is forthcoming.
Well, that's got to be a ban. I mean, he is just so OP.
I also feel that Naga, which we've seen Vici prioritize a lot, and is a choice for both teams that could go in different positions, will be prioritized. It also feels like Abba would have a lot of value in this pool.
What's the latest on Venomancer? I feel like he's kind of past his heyday. We haven't really seen too many teams touch him. Even outside of Captain's Draft, I don't think he's been very popular. Is he viable at all, though, Brax? Is there, like, could Venomancer mid be a surprise pocket pick that comes out?
It's definitely possible. I just don't know if it's good enough. Like, people have figured out how to play well against this hero. They know exactly what he's going to do at, like, every stage of the game. And then he lost some of that power because his talent changes have been pretty bad for him. He lost that on the experience game.
Yeah, if there was one team that I could see playing it, though, probably would be OG. Maybe something for No-Tail. He just played it so much.
Sure. Kind
of fits that idea of him being really active and getting stuff done in the early game. Typically, he tends to rotate for kills, I guess you would say, like on that CK or something. But in terms of just like getting that early pressure going, he just wants to show up, hit some heroes. He could still maybe do that on his Venomancer, but I would tend to agree that he's not exactly the strongest at the moment.
Yep. Jack, you're the VG gaming expert. What are they going to first pick? Assuming that this is not a Rasta ban.
I would say that Disruptor is pretty high value for them as well if they go in the support direction. Well, there's not that much good, fairly good, reliable control coming out from the supports.
First pick ET.
Okay.
Well, Elder Titan relatively safe. Kind of a flex pick. Where does he shine most? As a 3 or a roaming 4?
I'd definitely say the roaming 4.
Yeah.
Like, the 3 can work, but he kind of doesn't transition that well into later stages of the game. Like, whether he has farm or not, does the same thing. That's why I feel like he fits that role a bit better. And he actually is pretty strong at roaming once he stacks up his Astral Spirit.
Yep. Especially if you get a couple of those movement speed items. And there's that first pick Rasta for OG. No surprise there. He's been that highly sought after support all event.
It's just the hero that every offlaner hates playing against.
Talked about the cores being so valuable here too, and first off the bat, those 2 supports, but gotta wonder. The old Queen of Pain looks pretty damn good for OG at this moment.
It does, doesn't it? There's not a whole lot. I guess Jack was talking about the Disruptor. That'd be pretty good against Queen of Pain.
Combo's okay with the Elder Titan too.
Yeah, it's true.
Didn't we see a Disruptor Elder Titan support duo just earlier today?
By OG.
By OG, yeah. So it's definitely a good duo.
They have a lot of synergy together. Good catch, good team fight. What do you guys think about Lich? He's one of these heroes that might not shine so much anymore in normal drafts, but here he's a big lane winner, especially paired with some of these other heroes. Like, you can put anything offlane now. Like the Bristleback, he hurts a lot. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I was a bit surprised to even see Lich earlier in the tournament, honestly. I feel like he got picked at a time when there were actually some decent supports left that we see a little bit more often, but some teams are still comfortable going to him. He was dominating for quite a while, I suppose, so maybe they kind of learned to play with him. And it never hurts to have a Chain Frost. Just run into a team fight, you know, throw that thing in there. Was doing a little bit of work earlier today.
With the Abaddon ban, I also like the offlane pools feels a little limited as well. So I feel like something like an Underlord might make sense here as well. Helps them hold objectives. You can kind of deathball and push with it if necessary. And there isn't a lot of like good answers to that from the core pool. It kind of limits things as well, right? You don't really necessarily want to play Monkey King into it either.
They go Phoenix, so an OG classic. Certainly a comfort pick for them.
Not too many great heroes against Phoenix from the carry side. Like earlier today against Mineski, we saw Slark against Phoenix. He can just tunnel in on that, kill the egg every time. Juggernaut's also one of the big counters to Phoenix as well. I guess there's Ursa, but you don't really want to... Sometimes it's awkward to blink in and use your entire combo to hit the egg, especially when he gets to like 18.
Yeah,
that takes a whole bunch of attacks.
It's like Ursa on paper counters Phoenix, but Ursa is so heavy on his positioning game.
Yep.
It's pretty all in to give up that positioning advantage just to finish off the egg, you know, for a position 5 Phoenix.
Right, right. You don't want to blow your whole combo because you need that. You want to burst that important hero and get out and reset. And sometimes it just takes too long and you just die afterwards.
Yeah. On the point of that Lich, though, we saw the power earlier from Vici of having a really strong dual offlane. What was that? Was it the Brewmaster Vengeful Spirit combo that just opened up the entire game for him?
Yeah, Anti-Mage, super early.
Jack, you called that one. Not a lot of counters to the Anti-Mage, and now that both supports for OG have been revealed, I guess they feel pretty safe that the Disruptor isn't going to come out to counter him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can freeze you up a lot of different directions. You can take Queen yourself now. The control lockdown isn't the best other than Shadow Shaman.
Oh, well, they take the Disruptor themselves.
So OG will get a taste of their own medicine here.
What looks good against Anti-Mage in this pool? Monkey King? Carry?
We used to have the old the Morphling answer, but it doesn't really work that well.
Not as strong as it once was, that's for sure. I think...
How does the Monkey King Anti-Mage matchup go? Is it late game Monkey King has the advantage, or is it AM? And even more relevant question now is he gets third pick by OG.
It's one of these heroes that Anti-Mage dodges in every team fight. He does not want a man fight against him. The Jingu Mastery stack up is way too hard to deal with, especially when he gets the Boundless Strike off it. He is good in the sense that he can blink around the ultimate, the Wukong's command, but still, he can never really fight him unless he has a big item advantage.
And they kind of have the same thing going across the map. You're going to have AM split pushing on one lane, and then Monkey King's going to be trying to like answer that on the other side and keep pushing out these waves as fast as he can. But you can certainly be a little bit more active earlier on. Maybe OG will kind of keep that rolling forward here. Are we all assuming this is support Phoenix just because of the classicness of OG? I know we had Ice play it earlier as a core, and there's still some value supports left, like the Bounty Hunter.
So the only reason I would think it would be a core is if it could pressure the Anti-Mage in lane. But Phoenix doesn't naturally pressure AM. So because of that, I think it'll be support. But it's still pretty limiting because the support duo is not good at roaming into the offlane to pressure AM at all. So Spirit Breaker. I think actually Spirit Breaker is more likely to be the offlane than Phoenix in this game.
Would allow Esport to be very active, and it gives you some option for chasing the Anti-Mage around the map. Doesn't feel that great, but but it's at least one way you keep that vision on him. Everyone else catch up.
One of the better heroes against anti-mage for sure, since he always wants to split push and keep farming, push out those lanes. You can charge him and try to set up on him that way, but
also
still.
feels pretty good against Queen of Pain, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
Kind of traditionally considered a decent counter.
It's also nice to have a bash against the anti-mage once that BKB comes out. It's position 3 Spirit Breaker is hard because the power of this hero is roaming around the map early, but if you're in position 3, you can't leave the lane too much because you have to get to level 6 pretty much as quick as possible to have that control and burst and get the momentum. So hard to execute with, but certainly an option. Is now Underlord will be the 5th pick to round out the Vici draft.
Yeah, it's really like the only traditional, at least off-lane hero or something that we even see these days left in the entire pool. So Vici maybe playing it a bit safe there. Combos up nicely with the root along with the Elder Titan, so a lot of almost double bubble, kind of, I guess triple bubble if you can't disrupt her here coming out. So execution going to be key here for Vici Gaming during those team fights. We've seen a couple of games where disruptors haven't been landing those static storms quite perfectly, and it has cost them.
All about movement. They've got a lot of ways to stop the other team from moving, and then a lot of really mobile cores.
This last pick is really worrying. I'm not sure what's going to be. Dazzle. Okay.
So who's the core here? This is going to be very interesting for OG.
It's either
I wonder if this might be a core Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I feel like that just almost never loses. You don't see it very often. When I'm watching competitive games, obviously it's because they see it as a good opportunity. And they're
These
like,
guys
okay.
have been to New Earth before.
That's
Polylog
right.
Priest was the mid laner back then.
That's true.
was the big
so,
deal.
boys, we're going to need some predictions for Game 1. Jack, we're going to start with you. What do you think?
I like VG's draft. They have a lot of options. I think they took the strongest core in the pool. They took a Queen of Pain as well that doesn't have great answers. And they have an Underlord to kind of hold objectives if need be. So I like VG's draft in Game 1.
Trent?
I got to catch up to Jack. Go OG. I got to bridge this gap. No, I think if they feel like it's a viable option here, it's either going to be the Rasta core or the Dazzle core. I'm kind of excited to see both of those. So, give me OG. See him do it.
I'm going to go VG. I don't think that I feel like they needed something else. They needed a real core hero. Not like the Shadow Shaman who can potentially work. He's good in that mid game, but I feel like they need something else.
Yep. I'm going to be in the VG camp as well. I'd love to see this OG draft work, but I think that AM and Quap are going to be hard to control. So we will see what happens. Again, folks, this is Single a Limb. Let's jump right into it. We've got Suns Fan and Cinderin to take it away for our casting.
Praise Jesus. Suns Fan here with Cinderin. Vici Gaming versus OG. We're finally here, my friends. Is the crowd ready for this game by any chance? Oh, okay, cool. So, looking at these lineups, big boy, what do you think?
Don't ever call me big boy.
Big boy. You're my big boy. You'll always be my big boy, Cinderin.
I really like Vici J. When did they become Vici J?
Jack, you're a god. Honestly, you got them this far.
I like Vici Gaming's lineup this game. I think the Anti-Mage pick at the time was really, really good. They analyzed the pool. They noticed that there aren't any really good counters. And you could tell from that point on that OG were kind of playing a recovery game in the draft. And in my opinion, they never really caught up. Unless OG are very explosive in this game and just dominate the early mid game, I don't think they have the firepower later on to deal with these cores in VGJ. VGJ again? What's happening?
Just keep calling them that. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same org, close enough. That's not the first time you've made a mistake in your life.
That's true.
But we're going to see a core Spirit Breaker, my friend. I believe that is S4 playing.
Yes, it is. He has played this in the past a couple of times. When they picked it, I was wondering if this was going to be the case. And then when they picked Dazzle, we were both pretty sure that it was a core Shaman, but yeah, it's a core Dazzle for No Tail. The talents on this hero, actually, he has a 75 damage talent, level 10. If you want to go that route, it's a possibility.
That should be interesting, though. No Tail on that Dazzle. I'm sure Zyori is very happy about that right now. As Vici, as he screams in the background with glee. Jerax, he's going to find the Monkey King that is not the courier. Careful now, my friend. Lan M. All right. Resolution's going to pound it to Lan M a bit, but won't be too worse for wear. Does have the level 1 Jingu Mastery. In fact, will proc it right off the bat. So since that lasts, I want to say 30 seconds or so at least. Should be able to use that in lane.
It's like 35, is it?
It's pretty good.
Something like that? I don't remember, actually. I remember it got nerfed at some point, that's all.
Yeah,
it used to last forever.
Oh, what do you think of the matchup, though? We got Underlord in the top lane for Vici. And, of course, Monkey King, historically really good against melee heroes. But then again, Underlord is one of those heroes that can fare okay in matchups like this.
This is a very good monkey lane. And he's even getting help from Shadow Shaman. It's very clear OG are trying to get Resolution the perfect start because he is the one hero, the one true scaling hero you could say their lineup has. So he has to succeed.
Oh boy. S4 getting pounded upon in the bot lane. Doesn't look like there's going to be any more aggression coming with Vici, but S4 very low. Right,
I mean, the silver lining for S4 at this point is that he's out of mana, and the Spirit Breaker has a decent amount of base armor, so at this point, Anti-Mage doesn't really hit him very hard.
Yeah, that's true.
And he can always tango up these extra Thunder Strikes that I'm imagining Fenrir will be scaling on level 2. So S4 will actually be somewhat okay here, which is good news for OG. I'm very curious how this mid lane goes, by the way. I think this is a matchup I have never seen in competitive Dota. I have watched a lot of games.
Really?
Dazzle versus Quap.
I mean, we've seen it. I don't know. It's pretty standard, isn't it?
I don't even know if I've ever seen this in a pub game.
I've seen No-Tail play Dazzle mid maybe 3 times my entire life. It's top lane, yep, Icarus dies, but there's the Shackle. Don't think that's going to be enough for an action kill, but the Balance Strike coming out does not have the Jingu Mastery stacks at that point, though.
Oh, remember we were talking about bad stuns? Like Centaur Stomp?
Yeah.
Level 1 Monkey King stun.
Stop with this level 1 garbage, Jesus. Get a grip, Synderin. Well, mid lane, looks like we're going to get a kill one way or the other. No-Tail, designed to right-click, and Ori will take him down with first blood for Vici.
A very unexpected outcome that a mid lane dominator wins against a hero that literally never plays mid lane. Would you have expected that?
You played Dota 1. That was a hero.
Dazzle was also not mid lane in Dota 1. Really
Lion, Lich, and Dazzle. Occasionally you'd see them in mid lane.
Lion,
this is a blast from the past.
Oh, Lion mid. Those were the days.
That was the Firestorm coming out, but here comes the Sunray. It's going to try to heal up Resolution. You get the Boundless Strike up. That's another kill for Vici. Looks like a courier was sniped by Jerax.
That's what gave them the opportunity to go for this kill. The Shaman was out of lane.
Was it worth?
Absolutely worth it for Jerax to get that courier snipe for sure.
Was it worth for Resolution to die though?
Yes.
Okay.
At this early on in the game, a courier kill is worth more than any hero kill, I would argue.
Well, technically speaking, that's not an. I mean, that's a fact. It's
well,
not really an argument.
You also look at like the experience, right? Like if the mid hero is killing the other mid hero, that shifts the balance quite a bit. But the gold is really significant. Gives Vici. Vici is actually still ahead on gold, even though they lost their courier, but it's like an insubstantial amount at this point. Else they would have almost had a 2k gold lead right now, I think, or 1500 at least.
I mean, if you look at the CS department, No-Tail on that Dazzle. He did die, but he's on top right now. Well, tied with AM, I suppose. But CS-wise, they are even, aside from the kill.
Yep.
Is there any, I mean, I know you haven't seen Dazzle mid very much. I've seen more than you, apparently, which is shocking for me to say. But
that's not shocking at all when you think about it.
Okay, that might be true, actually. Yes, we're going to get a charge off onto the AM. Has absolutely no mana, which, of course, is a good thing right now.
Yeah, he's trying to run out of mana, I think. He's getting whatever out of it he could.
If you're playing an off-lane Spirit Breaker, at what point do you... Obviously, if you're playing 4 positions, it's a little bit easier. We might see a kill here. In fact, the Thunder Strike will be enough to take him down. Fenrir takes credit for that. At what point do you start ganking with this hero as an off-laner?
It's hard to just set a guideline for that. You know, if he can get his level 6, that would be really great, obviously. But he might have to make some moves earlier because OG, their support duo isn't the best ganking duo, right? Like Phoenix and Shadow Shaman, neither of those heroes really likes moving early on. They have really bad move speed, not the best lockdown. Shaman's lockdown, sure, it's good, but he's really slow. So maybe you have to rotate your Spirit Breaker off that bottom lane and get something done.
If he gets a bash
get someone else down there.
Maybe one more bash could have gotten Paparazzi a little bit lower. S4 going to take more damage from this Thunder Strike. Fenrir level 4 on this Disruptor, not too shabby. And S4 needs to...
He's really high level, you're right. That is...
You don't see that very often. I mean, Jerax on the other side, level 2 right now, despite getting that courier kill, which is a little bit of a surprise, actually.
This is something that has a tendency of happening in the current patch.
Nice block off by Paparazzi. S4 dead again in that bot lane.
In this patch, there's this tendency that if you're safe lane tri-laning for an extended period of time, you just get really low levels because pulling got nerfed a lot. It's not really that impactful anymore. So OG having to play 3 heroes up here so much, whereas VG are playing 2, that is why you see this support level discrepancy. Disruptor's almost level 5. He's the same level as the enemy 2 supports combined. And it's not like VGJ are paying a big price for it. Underlord is doing fine top. They helped him out with Elder Titan to prevent him from dying more than once.
Firestorm top, but the Shackle coming through. Resolution with a lot of right-click damage. The Boundless Strike is enough to take him out. In the meantime, we have a charge onto the Elder Titan. Lan M. One more right-click should do it. And I believe they were charging him while he placed a ward, so if S4 was paying attention to the inventory, might be able to de-ward that right away as well.
And this is the thing, right? Like I was kind of expecting S4 to try to go for something like this. Like make one charge move top, get something happening, and go back to bottom. If he just sits down there all the time, his it's not because it's bad for him to stay in lane. It's just his lineup probably requires his help to do something meaningful.
Oh, Resolution to Sonic Wave hits 2. It's not enough to get the kill as of yet. Young 11 trying to track down that Monkey King. He'll find it. At least Fly gets away. Nice try with the Sunray, but not enough this time around. 5-2 advantage for Vici. About a 1K lead. S4 takes the bounty rune. Looks like Fenrir's there. Might get a glimpse off, but no mana to speak of again. He's going to continue to right-click.
Interesting skill build.
Just going to walk away, level 5 right now.
Fenrir. This is very rare in competitive Dota, that disruptor skill like this.
Oh, Young 11. He is in quite a bit of trouble. One more auto attack should do it. And Resolution, another kill to his name.
Nice melee hero. Ice Frog.
Yeah, that actually is a weird.
600 attack range melee.
Yeah.
Oh, bottom lane, Jerax has found Fenrir.
Yep, Jerax is there, but Paparazzi's here as
he's
well.
level 6.
Shackle into the charge, but the charge is on the AM. Mana Void not doing a whole lot, but the auto attacks do finish off that pesky OG hero, so a kill going Vici's way. This is a lot of back and forth action early on this game.
There is, but as I said before the game started, I think if Vici Gaming, even if they break even or lose a little bit here, it's totally fine. The Antimage is having a good time. He has great farm. Their supports are finding good levels. Ori arguably won the mid lane with the Queen of Pain now. The Dazzle has obviously caught up nicely and it's getting farm, but then you also need to look at the big picture. If a Dazzle has 10k gold and a Quap has 10k gold, who puts it to better use?
Dazzle.
Absolutely.
Charge into the AM. Doesn't look like anything's going to come of this on the side of OG, at least not yet. Lanham on the way. The glimpse is there. See if they can actually finish him off. Paparazzi, no mana void. Only 25 second cooldown. Nice charge from S4. And he will get away safely. And Jerax here for some support as well.
Didn't see he had a soul ring.
All right, tell me this. Again, I'm going to keep coming back to this Dazzle. I love asking questions you don't know the answer to. You can see a Shackle here first. No Tail, Shadow Wave is there. Echo Stomp coming after Lanham. Oh! Not soon enough as he does go down to the right clicks of No Tail. Now, the question I was going to ask you, my friend, what build do you go on Dazzle? Looks like he's going drums. What is there anything that makes sense?
I don't know. I think you should tell me. You play the games with Dazzle, man.
I mean, he does. This hero does have
Desolator?
a Desolator cosmetic, so
yeah. I'm just looking at their lineup. I think, so obviously Weave is going to be the amplification source of damage for both Monkey King and the Shadow Shaman wards and the Spirit Breaker to an extent. So maybe going more minus armor is a bit of an overkill. It doesn't seem like he thinks so. He's already queuing up a medallion. Maybe that could be OG's way of getting some sort of control of the game is by getting a quick Roshan, perhaps. But to be honest, I think he kind of needs damage somehow. Like I don't know if OG will be able to kill these cores later on if the Dazzle doesn't have damage. Damage and lockdown, I would say, right? Would be good choice. Maybe Rod of Atos isn't actually that bad this game. There's a Queen of Pain and an Anti-Mage. Okay. Could be possible item.
I'll tell you, I don't think Ags is in the list.
No,
it's a really, really bad Ags.
It is one of the worst in the game.
Yep, it's something we can finally agree on. I'm happy about that.
Yep, absolutely.
Resolution the top lane, level 6, right? Occasion. Yes, it is. Looks like he's going towards a Battle Fury for himself.
We got a smoke action here. Damn, Fenrir's level 6 minute 9. That is so good on Disruptor. He doesn't even need to get the Tome. That means they can give that to Elder Titan, get him a 6 at minute 10. And this is a Disruptor that went for an uncharacteristic level 3 in Thunderstrike. He might need the damage here. All right,
Sonic
Jerax
Wave
died.
completely blows up Jerax. S4 with a Nether Strike showing that is online now, but again, Vici Gaming completely surrounding him.
Damn, he died so fast on Shaman. He didn't even get a spell off. Really quick kill, and Paparazzi goes back to farming bottom lane. So once again, so far so good for Vici Gaming. They have 2 lanes that are just doing great, the Quap and Anti-Mage. Top lane Underlord, who has the hard matchup, is still managing to get almost level 7, now minute 10. Which is the level Resolution is. Oh, they missed the timing here. Top Jerax and Resolution were trying to combine on Young 11, but might still be enough to get him here on the way out.
No, he misses the Boundless Strike, and there's the Echo Stomp afterwards.
Oh, that's really uncharacteristic for Resolution. He's generally got some of the best spell casting out of core players. But sometimes you miss.
Yes, that is true. You would know better than most. S4 doesn't have Nether Strike as of now. Still on cooldown. Stop laughing. That wasn't a joke. Already level 9 in the mid lane.
My God.
He's doing quite well for himself. He is top of net worth, in fact.
It's pretty rare I don't have a comeback. That was a really good one. That's very rare for you, actually.
Thank you. I've been practicing on my girlfriend.
I know I've inspired you. Okay.
Paparazzi level 8 now. Dazzle, of course, being quite annoying in that lane. That minus armor coming into play.
It's a good hero for shoving waves. We didn't talk so much about that, but as a core, Dazzle obviously gets that level 4 Shadow Wave really fast, can just constantly not only push out the wave, but also keep it healed a little bit, which helps with that pushing. So this bottom tier 1 tower, No-Tail's actually soloing at minute 11, using that siege creep to his advantage.
Yeah, very strong. Doesn't look like they're gonna even attempt to defend this, Vici.
Got some
They're
monkey
being surrounded
business
here.
top.
Monkey coming in. We got a Sunray onto 2 and a charge. A static storm being placed along with the shackle. Lots of damage being applied by OG. Can they actually finish anybody off? Elder Titans first. Underlord is next. But here comes the Quap. The egg is gonna explode, it looks like. Don't think it's gonna connect on anybody as Fenrir attempting to get out of dodge, but that's gonna be another kill going the way of OG. Sunray coming into effect as well. S4 healing a bit as a result. Ori thinking about going back in. Doesn't have Sonic Wave for another 3 seconds, but could blink and get a double, even a triple kill potentially. He's going to try for it. He gets one only. Make it 2. Ori on the run, getting charged on the backside. Resolution with a couple more right clicks. Should be able to do so.
One
he takes him out. The
Mana
Mana
Void.
Void does literally nothing. And Resolution looks like he's going to have to give up that no-tail life.
Oh, he actually
Jumps to a
gets
tree
out.
and tree dances away. Paparazzi's going to continue the pressure potentially.
So
Jesus, this game, man.
That move from OG I really like, because they know that they're under pressure and under the clock here, so they have to get something done. And they made this nice collapse play where they're all 5 showing up at this top tower very quickly, go for the kills. Unfortunately for them, they actually do 0 structural damage because Vici managed to reinforce pretty well, but this is the kind of playstyle that we should be expecting OG to apply for the rest of the game almost. Like, try to get these plays going, get some kills into a tower. Even though, as mentioned, it wasn't that successful, it's the right idea, and I think we need to have them do more of this. Whereas for Vici Gaming, you just keep playing this anti-mage 4 protect 1 style almost, give him the time to get the Battle Fury, and if he feels like he can contribute by joining the end of the fight like that classic AM style and get 1 kill, he can do that. Paparazzi got the blink off.
Yeah, he's getting charged. Nether Strike's still offline.
This is a smoke play from OG. If they don't get anything out of this except warding, then it's not the end of the world, but I think they would like to find something here. Maybe around the mid area so they can do some structural damage there, but nobody's pushing the wave right now for them. Whereas Vici Gaming, they're putting on the pressure top, and OG are like, okay, you can have this tower. Rezo's out of here.
Yep.
It's a very common thing to do, just give up that side lane tower at this point. Your own safe lane tower is very difficult to defend.
Very disciplined play from Ori, TPing out, knowing that the charge potential was there. Very annoying hero to play with, or play against, especially with vision, keeping in mind. Of course, if you have the vision advantage, it makes Spirit Breaker even stronger, but we're not quite at that stage yet.
Are they going to
Still
dive
only
this
13
S4?
minutes in. No, I don't think so. There's no
That was
way.
a bit crazy.
And Young 11 TP's in. I'm not sure if they saw that. It is nighttime.
Something that Quap could do in this game, which is actually a classic thing in pub games at least to do against Spirit Breaker, is get the Yule Scepter just for that reason. As long as you have vision on him, you can always counteract that charge, and just getting the Yules off will set up for an easy static storm from Disruptor or for a Titan Stomp. I actually think their lineup makes really good use of having a Yules. Looks like he has queued up the Orchid for now, though, maybe thinking they can Orchid the Dazzle and secure the kills.
Yeah.
Grave doesn't come out, it's good against Phoenix, so the Egg doesn't come out. There's a lot of merit to both items. And this, I would say, is the more aggressive approach that Ori is taking here.
Yes, for sure. Treads are online with drums for No-Tail on that Dazzle. Resolution jumping in, bottom's going to be pushing out this wave. I believe Battle Fury, is it there yet? Not quite. Very, very close. As the charge is actually going to continue on. Nether Strike is available into the Sunray. Lots of damage being applied to Young 11, and the cancel TP means that Vici will have to lose that hero. So OG keeping the pressure on.
If they're pushing mid at the same time while they're taking half a tower and damage up top from Ori on the Queen of Pain. Now, these Serpent Wards are not contestable for Vici Gaming, so they will be losing the mid-tier 1 tower. And another successful move from OG, kill into a tower mid and pressure bottom. Pretty good stuff. We'll see if they want to defend top tier 2, or if they're aiming to trade for bottom. Looks like the aggressive ping has come out. They're moving down to this bottom area. I don't know if you want to take this fight as OG without Monkey King having skilled ulti yet and without Shaman Wards. I think this can go really wrong.
Young 11 shows the charge is coming into play with the Sunray Poison Touch as well. He's very low on HP. S4 going in pretty deep. The egg is even applied. Young 11 will live through the day, but space created and more damage being done to the tier 2 bot. The question is, will Vici try to defend this one? They are doing a lot of damage themselves to the top tier 2, so it might be a trade.
I think OG will probably retreat since they blew both their Nether Strike and their Supernova. And that is effectively Vici getting a tower and defending their own. See if OG can somehow get Paparazzi here. S4's charging in really quickly here.
Yeah, charge, but no Nether Strike.
Decent distance.
He's going to have to get a couple good bashes. Boundless Strike to start. S4 praying to the RNG gods, whatever.
He get haste rune.
He lives.
Whatever.
Is that your impression of me? Is that how literally you think of me?
Let's say that was what it was. That's good. I'm down with that. Why are you so stupid, Shane?
Yeah, thank you. Ori, level 12 in the bot lane now. Like you said, working towards that Orchid. It's interesting, though, because you buy Orchid, you kind of want to use it on Dazzle, even if he's a support hero. Just that kind of an important hero to take out without that shallow grave, not the most useful. As a core,
he's a very good target.
I mean,
for sure.
That's pretty insane. Like, what you think you could go for like a Lotus Orb to try to counteract that at some point? Or do you even want to buy that on a mid Dazzle? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. Lotus is actually pretty decent in this game. Can purge off the Thunder Strike, can purge off Shadow Strike, Quap, and of course, like you said, the main thing would be purging off the Orchid. But it's not that great either, right? It's not like a secondary amazing thing to have it against. So you kind of don't really want to buy that. But then the question is, what do you do then? You get like, you can't even get the, I forgot what that item's called because nobody ever buys it, almost Aeon Disc, because Quap can just Orchid you and not deal damage. And then you're still silenced.
Yeah.
So that is not a solution either. And if you buy Yules, I think it takes too long. Oh, OG Smoke is going to break immediately. They're actually running up the high ground. That's really confident from No Tail here.
He is a Dazzle.
Decent.
And he was mid.
Classic frontliner.
Nice miss. He's going to get Glimpse into the Static Storm. He actually applies the Shallow Grave beforehand, but something tells me he's not going to get out of this one, Cinderin. And he dies.
Yep. Great foresight from you there.
Thank you. Resolution working towards his favorite item in the game, Echo Saber. He buys that on every hero, even if he's ranged. Don't know what that's all about, but I keep telling him not to do it, but just keep, these pro players very stubborn.
It's got really good stats on, obviously on Monkey King it's a no-brainer, but I think that item in general is maybe a bit underappreciated in some games, on some heroes, but yeah, he will go for it. Is
this a BKB game at all?
For
Resolution after the Echo Saber. It's not that great.
I think it is.
Just for the Glimpse?
He needs to be able to maneuver fights against Underlord. He can negate a lot of damage from Queen of Pain.
Resolution with a big Boundless Strike. Fenrir taking tons of damage. He's going to go down in a heartbeat. Resolution faking Wukong's command. Thunder Strike still applied, so they have clear vision of him.
That's a one-man army. Just ran through the Radiant jungle alone with that haste rune and just found a kill.
Sometimes confidence gets you everywhere, even if you have zero skill. You know everything about that.
What?
What?
I don't have any confidence.
Oh, okay, my bad. Young 11 at the top lane. Looks like the Solar Crest was finished onto No Tail. And Crimson Guard will be in play for Young 11 this game. We've been seeing a decent amount of that this tournament, and it's been quite strong, I have to say.
Good item against Monkey King. I think that's the only... It doesn't work against Serpent Ward, so it's probably the only
No Tail gets initiated on. He's going to pop the Weave, though.
And that scares them off immediately. Oh, no, not the Weave.
I mean, Weave is pretty good. It's a pretty good ultimate.
Absolutely.
It's undervalued by the general public, I want to say.
I do definitely agree with that.
Why do you stop agreeing with me? It's not entertaining unless you disagree.
You're saying smart stuff for once.
Okay, I'll try to dumb it down.
See the thing I said about my confidence dropping? It's because you're actually starting to make sense.
I brought you down to my level, I'm pretty sure. S4, looks like the Pit of Malice was about to come into play, but...
He broke the smoke, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, nicely played by S4. Of course, Pit of Malice, one of those spells we were talking about where you can fake cast it and it has the effect on the ground.
Oh, this OG ward is actually very good right now. I don't know, I don't think they have any... Do they have a smoke available? They do not have any smokes. Oh, they do have one on Phoenix here. So they could play around with it. They have really good information. They know Underlord and Elder Titan are standing at the Ancient area. They know Anti-Mage went to the southeast, so could have maybe found a moment of opportunity here. That could have turned into a top tier 1 tower, but they're choosing not to go. Maybe they felt like they were not in the right position, or maybe they're waiting for some sort of key item. All their cooldowns are up. Echo Saber's flying out. There's a scan from Radiant, and they're probably not going to go in. So still a bit, overall, a bit quiet right now in terms of action, but
let's take a look at AM real quick. I believe he had a casual Yasha and he's working towards a Lincoln last I checked. Yeah,
absolutely.
So Lincoln's for the charge, I guess, is the big one.
Yes.
The vision coming from that, or even Nether Strike if, I mean, usually it's going to be canceled by that point, but...
It's mainly for the charge. Your game plan here is...
Or the Blink Hex, I suppose, as well.
Also that, but you want to split push, right? Like, that's your goal. You want to split push with AM, and the threat when you're split pushing, Spirit Breaker is really good against you, so if you have a Manta, you can still be in trouble against SB. With the Lincolns, he can't charge you when he sees you, so you can feel more confident.
Oh, the double root from the Underlord. Sunray trying to keep his teammates healthy. They're going to turn this around. Young 11 getting quite low as well, and all they trade is the Dazzle, although he is a core. S4 in the meantime trying to get out of mid, but not able to do so in time. Jerax not able to save his teammate this time. I almost said it was a great trade for OG, then I remembered Dazzle was mid. So
I'm looking at the top and I'm like 2 for 2, but they killed 2 cores and lost 2 supports. No, they killed 2 cores and lost 2 cores. It's not exactly the most common sight, but I would say all in all, OG are probably pretty happy with that. Did the kills go to Resolution, or did he get none of them? He did not get a kill. Okay. You want this Monkey King to get really big this game. I think actually the key heroes for OG to be able to close this game out at some point is Monkey King being farmed, and I think Shadow Shaman actually needs to get farmed in this game. He needs to, either we need to get to a Refresher Shard territory with 3 Roshans, or he needs to get a Refresher Orb himself with an Aghanims or something like that, because I still struggle to see OG somehow breaking high ground with their lineup. They don't really have anything that's good at doing it, and they're playing against a lineup that I would still just argue flat out is better than theirs in the late game. So you gotta either itemize your supports so they can win, or you need Roshan's help.
Paparazzi mid right now. We have a smoke gank attempt here from OG. See if they can actually catch someone off guard. Jerax jumps in, gets the Hex off. A nice pit of Malice onto 3. Balance Strike with the Sunray coming into play as well. Young 11. He's getting quite low. He's going to get Nether Struck. He's going to be the first casualty of this fight. Early Shallow Grave. We see the egg come into play as well. Paparazzi has to run away for now. And it looks like the Monkey King Resolution will die. So it's a 1-for-1 right now as S4 trying to charge. Not up for 6 seconds, though. Another Static Storm Kinetic Field. There's the Serpent Wards are placed, but it looks like it might be in vain. Not the most effective wards. Paparazzi actually jumps in right into a Hex.
S4's in Shadow Blade.
Vici really wants to continue the pressure here. Shadow Strike applied to No Tail. Paparazzi gets the Mana Void, destroys him.
Oh,
another glimpse into the Kinetic Field. Jerax looks to be next on the list. The Shackle does not last more than half a second. Double kill for Paparazzi. And if you're looking at the net worth, just look at the two. The mid and core, or the carry for Vici compared to everybody else in the net worth department. That is a huge discrepancy.
It is. This is Dazzle mid will generally just go this way against Quap.
How do you know? You've never seen it before.
That's true.
This is a very small sample size.
This is going the way I imagined. Let's go with that.
All right, in your dreams.
Well, here goes Roche. By the way, that fight, I think, MVP of that fight, Young 11, with that extremely good Pit of Malice. He died right in the beginning of the fight and had a huge impact. Glimpse, no detection though, just being annoying, as Disruptors love to.
I was going to say, pretty early Shadow Blade picked up, but then again, it is off lane, so he's going to get a little bit more farm.
I really like that itemization though. I think S4 is buying all the right items so far. They need the Shadow Blade so they can find some sort of way of getting the surprise jump on either the Queen of Pain or the Anti-Mage. And even Vici's good warding in this game does not protect them from this right now. But of course the Anti-Mage upcoming Lincolns will still.
Oh boy. Oh, actually that's not going to be enough damage with the Orchid Burn. And here comes another strike into the Sunray. Another bash coming into play. Ori trying to get Dark Rifted. It's not going to be in time though. Young 11 will have to take himself back.
Well, he's happy with that, for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, he ended up dying. Okay.
Yeah, that was the Shadow Strike took him down, I think.
Ah, I see.
But, yeah. Still think if you're OG, you're obviously happy with that little engage there, but you need something bigger. Anti-Mage now has the Lincolns. He's going to keep ramping up the gold advantage. It's going further and further toward VG. It's just a given with the lineup. Oh, he actually just blinked into Jerax.
Yeah, and the Lincoln is online. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Wukong's command placed by Resolution. S4 stuck inside that Static Storm, and it looks like he's going to be finished off first. Paparazzi now chasing Jerax, who has Hex in 1 second.
Lincolns.
But the Lincolns is there again, and there's the root from Underlord. It looks like Jerax is next on the list for Vici. On the backside, though. Oh, never mind. Looks like Resolution was in the trees. So a 2-for-1. Quappa died earlier.
Yes.
And a 5K lead now for Vici.
And they have some really key items coming up. Anti-Mage's Manta Style is about 2,000 away. There's almost the Rod of Atos on Ogre Titan. Queen of Pain's BKB is about 1,000 away. All of these items I feel like are just more impactful than whatever OG can put together right now. They're going for BKB on their Dazzle. I guess that's his counter to the Orchid, but you have your BKB Dazzle running around. I mean, he hits for 200 damage. He has Weave. He has Crest. It's not like it's insignificant. It's just his mobility is really bad. And we're playing against mobile carries, right? This Quap and AM can just kite him for days unless they're locked down by the Spirit Breaker and the Shadow Shaman.
Resolution almost done with his BKB. And at that point,
Oh, Jerax. Whoa, Paparazzi.
Okay, bottom lane. Paparazzi getting hit by Sunray into the Nether Strike. He needs another bash for this. He's not going to find it yet. He's going to finish off Fly first. Gets a Poison Touch applied by No Tail. Paparazzi getting extremely low. Blinks away. Might be ticking down to the Poison Touch. Not sure. And it looks like Vici Gaming will lose the Aegis, but that's an okay consolation for them, as they're going to glimpse back S4 and find a double kill for Fenrir of all heroes.
3 kills.
Vici finding everything they want right now.
3 kills and 2 towers. There was a tier 1 here as well. They got that with the siege creep, and now they're going to go for the tier 2. There's no way OG defend this 2-on-5. As all of Vici's heroes are very healthy. They took one very good engagement there and capitalized big time. That's about a 3k gold swing in their favor. Now, Monkey King has BKB. I think this is peak timing for OG to try to make a comeback fight. Get a smoke going, try to find a fight with this Monkey King as the centerpiece that gets to go in and hit stuff. They just absolutely need to, all of them, just set up for this Monkey King to succeed. And if they do not successfully win that fight, they could just be losing a lane of barracks very soon. Or you try to take it slow and your Dazzle carries against Anti-Mage and Quap.
Yep, easy.
Question mark.
I've seen it before. But yeah, this is an uphill battle for OG to say
It is
the
hard.
least.
It is really hard.
Essentially, I don't want to say no late game, but I mean, Monkey King can definitely be scary in certain situations. And it's hard to picture that when Paparazzi is this high up in net worth this early.
Yeah.
And we have a BKB on the Quap now, so extra defensive capabilities from Ori, who can jump in and pretty much not have to worry about Shadow Shaman at all, or even the Phoenix for that matter.
Yeah, the Spirit Breaker is obviously still a great hero to have against that BKB. Monkey King can hit for more or less full damage through that as well, but come the time when Queen of Pain gets an armor item, I think she doesn't die in BKB. Actually, she's currently queuing up the Nullifier.
Really?
So I guess Quap just wants to blink and nullify the Monkey King so he can't BKB, and then they feel like the fight is just under their control, which I would not disagree with. It's a different, it's an alternative approach from what we usually see. Quaps love getting Shivas in this position.
How fast is the projectile on Nullifier?
It's really fast. I think it's the same speed as E-Blade, right?
E-Blade's not that fast, though. Like
It's pretty fast.
You could dodge E-Blade pretty easily, though, with a BKB.
I'm actually not completely sure about the speed. It depends how close the enemy
If you
is.
jump into melee, there's nothing you can do, really. That's true.
You can definitely react when a Nullifier is in the air if you're expecting it.
Yeah.
But you need to immediately see the Quap going in and realize what is happening. Oh, so they're going in here.
He's jumping in. The wards are placed, and the Quap is getting pretty low. The Sunray coming in. He's going to pop the BKB, and the first to fall is actually Shadow Shaman. Already placed the wards, already getting extremely low, not able to blink out to safety. So 1 for 1 in OG's favor so far.
1 for 1 in OG's favor.
Yeah,
very nice.
It is their favor. It's a core for a Shadow Shaman. Why do you question me in these situations? Oh, we're going to have a glimpse, though. This could be bad. Fly able to Icarus dive out, but Paparazzi's coming in to finish him off with that Mana Void.
They're going to hunt here.
And No Tail, the mid Dazzle. We'll see what he can do with his life. Nice balance strike from Resolution. And he's going to turn into a tree to try to fake out the opponents.
Paparazzi tried to quell him there, but he quelled the wrong tree. If he would have found Resolution there, that would have been sick, and maybe even a lane of barracks, actually. I don't think he has buyback, I guess. But then forcing a buyback, of course, is really massive. They're going to now get this tier 2 tower mid. I don't know if OG are willing to fight this. They have some key cooldowns. Well, they're weaving them at least to try to warm them up. Oh, they found him.
Oh my god, Monkey King gets stunned for 4 seconds. Echo Stomp is coming in, and it looks, nice shallow grave from No Tail on the sidelines, but Resolution is super dead. 76 seconds on the deck, but does have buyback, like you said. Paparazzi trying to continue the pressure. No Tail hiding inside these 2 little trees. Actually. Pretty nice play. Glimpse, he's able to step outside of the kinetic field.
Good. I know. Oh, that was beautiful to watch. Just as beautiful as the quell from Paparazzi there on the Monkey King. Big kill. Just as we talk about it being a possibility, he actually pulls it off right after.
Oh boy, Jerax.
Gonna go in here. Very aggressive play here from Paparazzi, just blinking into the base, but has the necessary information. Feel safe and not die here.
Yeah, No Tail taking damage from those illusions.
They want this buyback.
Oh, absolutely. 36 seconds. If he doesn't buy back, he potentially this is Rax.
It is. He will have to do it eventually.
Yeah, he's going to do it. Paparazzi trying to blink out. There's the Pit of Malice. Young 11 just going to pop Dark
Everybody
Rift.
get in the bus!
Oh, he's going to take them all the way back to base.
And they got 2 kills on their way out.
Unbelievable.
Probably
2
didn't
dead
even
for
need to
OG.
disengage.
Yeah, well, he regrets it now. Sometimes you get an Uber, you regret it instantly. But
Yep. Bad driver. 1 star for Young 11 on that one. It's a really hard situation to assess, right? And I don't even know, like sometimes you get the first 2 kills in the fight and you end up losing it after because you blew everything on those kills, but I think they were actually in fighting shape there to take that fight further. But better safe than sorry. The buyback from Monkey King is a bit hard to just realize exactly what you can do in the moment when it goes so fast. OG get the jump and the buyback at the same time. It was nice to set up, speaking of which.
And they're going to try to go for this Pit of Malice kinetic
Jerax
field as well.
Indeed.
Jerax does have a Ghost Scepter, so to stay alive a little bit longer, but trying to create as much space as possible before his inevitable death. Paparazzi was a double damage now, and no Rasta, so this is a tier 3, probably a Rax. Wukong's command is up, Nether Strike as well.
He's trying to cut down trees, he's looking for Monkey King. Weave is ticking right now. Boundless Strike is going to hurt this AM really a lot very soon here, and they might just disengage and wait for Weave to run out if they want to respect it. Looks like that is actually happening. They're just playing in the back lines for a little
Nether
bit.
Strike forces out a Force Staff. But this Barracks is in a lot of trouble. We have the Static Storm Kinetic Field placed. Dazzle is dead. Balance Strike comes out. Decent damage overall, but Ori able to blink out to safety with that BKB. Resolution pounding into the illusion that spawned from Paparazzi, who's going to continue to pound upon the flesh of OG. Melee racks down and pretty much nothing lost for Vici.
Great timing from Vici there on the engage. They respected it just until the end of Weave. Fly gets Yuled.
Yeah, glimpse
He
Kinetic
has to
Field,
Supernova.
and done. Resolution looks to be next on the list. A beautiful Boundless Strike and Charge, but they might be too far behind at this point to come back in this game. Resolution healing up with that Jingu Mastery. Nice Shackle Shot. Nether Strike as well. Ori's dead. Could buy back if he really wants to try to finish this game, but a double kill for Jerax. Is OG able to salvage this at all? Young 11, Dark Rifting. That was a close call there for Jerax, but not able to find the kill.
So OG hold on, but it's very expensive.
Yes.
And I believe Roshan will be next on the list here for Vici Gaming. They managed to pressure OG all the way back to their base, get the kill on the Monkey King who bought back, so might feel confident to go for this. But actually their death times are just as long as the Monkey King, so it might not be that easy. May have to wait a little bit. Obviously, one of the aspects of Underlord that is sometimes mentioned is really good hero for killing Roshan. He tanks it pretty well. Firestorm works on Roche, deals a lot of damage.
What do you think
so
of
they could do it
the...
pretty fast.
What talent number is it 20 or... I think it's 20 for the Firestorm on
18.
buildings. Oh, it's 25.
Oh, the damage on
Have you
buildings.
seen that?
Don't think so. The Pit of Malice root talent is really
Yeah, I think
strong.
most people take that. I have yet to see the Firestorm building damage, but
it's
it
actually
takes me
getting
back to
started
the original days of Pit Lord.
So every wave of this Firestorm deals 200 damage to Roche at this point when he's full HP. So it's like every cast of this is like the 1200 damage.
Jerax is dead. Oh, nice blink out for now. Will AM pursue? Doesn't have Mana Void, so Jerax is actually able to get out.
That's some really good discipline there from Paparazzi. A lot of players would have gone for that kill. And he just realized the risk-reward ratio was not favoring him. Like, if he dies for that kill, that's really bad. Instead, they get a 100% safe Roche, knowing that they have forced the Shaman back to base. Aegis and Cheese. I think Cheese will go to Ori. No, never mind. We'll give the Aegis to Ori and the Cheese to Paparazzi.
Paparazzi, very difficult to kill at this
Glimpse
point
on Phoenix.
Yep, into the kinetic field, and the bash comes out. You do have a Yules. Looks like S4 is going to come with that charge. Nether Strike combination. Has the BKB now as well. But the Phoenix is lost, and No Tail with the BKB of his own. Resolution pop Wukong command. Only one member of Vici inside, though. I'm just going to reposition. On the other side of the map, we have Jerax trying to hold off against Paparazzi and Ori, but that is not... Oh, they're going to find it. They're going to find Resolution. That's a double kill for Paparazzi. And that's 4 dead for OG, and you have to think this is the beginning of the end of game 1 of this best of 3.
It's gotta be game. This should be Megas or just end. Go straight down mid. This is a 2-1-4, but Vici's cores are looking very healthy in this situation. He's gonna buy back and realize this one is done.
Vici Gaming looking very strong, although we did say at the beginning of the game that we felt like the draft advantage did go to Vici. OG kind of struggling with the AM, finding a way to answer it, and end up with an unorthodox Dazzle mid.
Vici took a lot of time to pick that anti-mage. I think they were just looking over the pool very just very carefully seeing if there was any of those standout heroes that was almost uncounterable, and they identified the AM. I think OG had some of the right ideas, but I didn't really like the way they rounded off this draft. It's kind of like they forced themselves into a corner and then they just had to commit to the style that wasn't necessarily that likely to be successful in this game. But, you know, I have a feeling the next game is going to be closer than this. I think this was a pretty severe outdraft in my opinion, and will not be happening again to a team like OG.
Yeah, it's not often you see that happen in captain's draft with this, with a captain like Fly.
Especially not to OG.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, we'll take a quick break and be back with game 2 in the panel. Let's see what they have to say about this game.